tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So Christ came out of his own mouth and said what? Until heaven and earth pass. Now, you're watching this show, so heaven is still here, and obviously earth is still here. So read that part again.
Till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So heaven is still here, earth is still here. So it says, look, not even a small part should pass from the Old Testament biblical law. Meaning that what? We're still supposed to keep these laws that are found in the Bible, unlike what the churches and religions of today say. Read on.
Till all be fulfilled.
And all isn't fulfilled because we're not in the kingdom as yet. There's still prophecies that need to be fulfilled. So now the key thing is for the so-called Hispanics, the real Jews, the real Israelites, our people, to get off religions and these different churches because they're not teaching the truth. All right, it's about finding the truth in the Lord, not what feels good to you. All right, read on.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Right, meaning these commandments that are found in the Old Testament. Like, for example, there's a commandment on what we're supposed to eat. We're not supposed to eat pork, lobster, and shrimp. There's a commandment on what you're supposed to do on the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day starts what? Friday sundown and ends Saturday sundown. Because when you read the Bible, a day really begins at sundown. And there's certain laws that we're supposed to keep on the Sabbath. But now when you go to different churches, they do what? They tell you that what? Sunday is the Sabbath. Right? Read on.
And shall teach men so.
So if you break one of these least commandments or one of these least laws, like the churches and religions of today are teaching our people to do, and you also teach men so, then what?
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Meaning you're going to get put to death. That's what that means, plain and simple. Read on.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. So now let's get back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Let's get back to the curses that fell on the so-called Hispanics, the real Jews, the real Israelites, for breaking the laws of the Lord that were found in the Bible. Let's jump down to verse 49 and read that for me. Deuteronomy 28:49.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So now this is speaking about the so-called Hispanics, or to the so-called Hispanics, I should say. And the Lord said he would bring a nation against us from far. What is that going into? When you go into the history, like I said before, you had the Native Indians that were throughout Central, South, and South America and the West Indian Islands. And what you had is the nation, the white Spanish conquistadors came and attacked these people. That's the nation that's coming from far, the white Spanish conquistadors and the other whites that took over and conquered the Native Indians. But let's prove it. Read on.
From the end of the earth.
From the end of the earth. You know why? Because when you look at America, America's in the Western Hemisphere. Central South America, as well as the West Indian Islands, where the Taino and Boricua Indians live, and the Arawaks are what? On the Western Hemisphere. But now in the Eastern Hemisphere, you have what? The European nations, and especially Spain, where the white Spaniards came, who conquered the so-called Native Indians over here in America and the West Indian Islands. That's why it says, read that part again.
From the end of the earth.
From the end of the earth. You know why? Because the white Spanish conquistadors came from one end of the earth all the way over here to the other, to the Americas and to the West Indian Islands. But read on.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
So why did it say as swift as the eagle flieth? Because why? Number one, they came with great speed. Christopher Columbus led the first group of Spaniards over here. And then after that, you had Spaniards coming quickly. But at the same time, what is the symbol? What was the symbol of the Spaniards that were coming? The eagle. That's why it says as swift as the eagle flies. Read on.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
And let me clear this up. When I say this symbol, it means that what? They had it on their flags, on their ships, on their armor. Right? Read that part. Read that last part again, though.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
And because the white Spanish conquistadors came over here to our brothers, the Native Indians, who later became the Hispanics, the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, so on and so forth. The so-called white Spanish conquistadors came over here speaking what? Spanish. So the Native Indians, the real Jews, the real Israelites, didn't understand that. And what you had is the so-called white Spanish conquistadors slaughtered, killed off the native Indians, mixed with them, and did what? Forced their Spanish language upon them. That's why the Hispanics today in the Western Hemisphere speak what? Spanish. That's why the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, South Americans, and Central Americans speak Spanish. But originally, that was not our original language. Originally, our original language was a form of Hebrew and different native Indian language. Why? Because Hebrew is the original language of the Israelites, who are you so-called Hispanics today. But read on.
A nation of fierce countenance.
A nation of fierce countenance, meaning an angry nation. And the so-called white Spanish conquistadors were angry when they came over here. Because what? What they would do is, there were instances where they'd sharpen their swords and just come over here and sharpen their swords while they were over here in Central America and South America and the West Indian Islands during the time when they found the native Indians here. After they sharpened